So you woke up July 7th and had what you call an MS attack. What were you feeling?
So what I was feeling then was basically my arm and my leg on the left side were weak, and especially my foot. So I was literally dragging my body into the hospital. Like I did come through on an ambulance because that day I ended up collapsing on the stairs when I was changing my. I think he was about between 5 months old at the time. I was changing his diaper and fell on the stairs and kind of just pinned him with my other knee against the railing. And then I realized that something had really just happened to me, and I got my mother-in-law to come by the house and take care of my son, and then I was in the hospital. And so when I was there, I was dragging my body around, and what it was from was basically I had lesions on the right side of my brain, and that was controlling my arm and leg at that time. So more so it was my leg that really got affected, but then as the stress and the trauma of just being in that hospital experience almost amplified everything for me. And at that time, I wasn't in control of my mind as I am now. So pity parties came through and anger. Why me? Friends drink more, they eat garbage food, and yet they're not this way, right? It's always we're comparing because we're just like stressed and frustrated with the situation we're in.
Did you have any signs before that day that something was off? Like,
Yeah, I did. And I remember because back then you used to wine and dine clients being a sales guy, right? And I remember going to certain places and my knee would buckle, like it would be almost like it would drop for a second. And I would just chalk it up to like fatigue or that maybe I need to sleep or stretch more. And so the signs were there. I chose not to listen to them. And
right.
then I think I had to have this major one of knocking me the F out to wake up and be like, oh my God, something's just happened.
Why do I feel like there was a mold component? Am I making that up entirely?
I think at that time, I remember in the office that we were in, every time I would go in there, I would be very sniffly and I would have trouble breathing. So then, of course, they're like, no, we checked everything. Everything is to the levels. It's in your head.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like because you'd written a post on my old blog about it, and I feel like there was some
Yeah.
mention of it, and that sort of stuck in my mind. And was there anything about I mean, you had a newborn baby, which is obviously, throws things,
Yeah.
into chaos. Was there anything else in your life that you felt was off that you were ignoring?
I think probably not being my authentic self, not
Mm.
saying what I really wanted to say, maybe negativity and stress within me, and ultimately breaking my cells and causing something to happen to me.
Right.
But I think that's what it was back then was I wasn't forthcoming with my truth and or aligning with it. So that's where I think I just took everything in, whether it was others people's problems, my problems, and ultimately I think it toppled me at that time because I wasn't in control of my mind.
So how long did it take after your symptoms and after you went to the emergency room that you got a diagnosis?
So I got the diagnosis a few days later. I had a lot of smart doctors trying to give me every single prognosis under the sun. And at that time, I was very frustrated because everybody's coming back with a different answer. And I was just like, look, to the last guy who came in, I said, look, if you don't have anything proper to say with rationale, shut up. I said, I've heard enough from all of you people here, and everyone has a different story. So then finally, one actually decided to give me an MRI. And from that point on, we noticed that I had lesions in my brain. I had about like 9 of them, I think, or something like that. But even so, it's like now, after years of research, I realized that you could have a lesion. Like I could bump my head on this table right now and get a lesion, but it's not necessarily going to turn anything on or shut something off. It's just more so how toxic and or how inflamed is your body to turn something on. And that's what I realized.
Yeah, I think very few people actually recognize this. And I feel this way about seniors who are constantly going for more and more medical tests.
Yeah.
That the more tests you do, they will find things, but that our bodies are constantly in evolution and in flow, and they're an expression of whether it's what we did the day before or what we've been doing for the
Right.
last 5 or 10 years, even right down to our vision, where I wear large glasses and I
Same.
try to wear them as seldom as possible. And the less I wear them, the stronger they feel when I put them back on, because like anything, our eyesight shifts too.
Yeah.
So you got the diagnosis, which is very rare. It's more common in women and
Right.
also older women. And you were what, like in your 30s?
34. Yeah.
Yeah. And a man. So what did they say to you? What was the prognosis and what did they tell you were your options?
So they said that I had demyelination of my nerves, and that usually means that you have multiple sclerosis. And from that point on, they gave me a whole sheet of different drugs I had to start to take, and these ones would have side effects, and then this drug would combat the side effects of that one. And I remember saying to the guy, I said, you know, doc, if you were a sales guy, I would be buying nothing here. I said, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to heal my or fix my body, and here you are trying to poison it. So right away, I said, I don't align with this. Like, I know I'm in a rough state right now, but I just don't believe that whatever you're telling me to do is going to help me. And I mean, you and I both know kind of how the system works. It doesn't keep you really well, doesn't keep you really sick, but it keeps you on a monthly subscription plan throughout, right?